What's up guys, this is Massey. Welcome to another video. In this video I want to talk about cosine law or law of cosines. This law is applicable for any kind of triangle, and in the triangle ABC with lengths of lowercase a, lowercase b and lowercase c, we have this kind of relationship. Side B equals to a squared plus c squared subtract 2 times a times c times cosine b. We were looking for finding length b, so that's why we need to use the angle b in here. Next one is a squared equals to b squared plus c squared subtract 2 times bc times cosine a, which is this one in here. And last one, c squared equals to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times cosine c, which is in front of it. So in solving triangles, we need to use one of these equations in order to solve the missing side or missing angle. Let's see some examples. We have a triangle here. Two sides are given, 9 and 13, and the angle in between is given as well, which is 20 degrees. So we are interested in finding this length. So let's call it A, B, C. So it means that we are interested in finding out the length of B. So B squared equals to 9 squared plus 13 squared subtract 2 times 9 times 13 times cosine of 20 degrees. So that's 81 plus 169 subtract 2 times 9 times 13. 2 times 9 times 13 times cosine 20 degrees. That's going to be 219.89. I keep the 2 digits after decimal points. It's going to be 30.11. So B is going to be square root of 30.11. which is going to give me 5.49. Next example. (95°). We have 11 and 10 here. 10 centimeter, 11 centimeter and 10 centimeter. Again, we need to define it. A, B, C. So obviously this part is going to be A. So when you write the cosine law, it's going to be A squared equals to 10 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 10 times 11 times cosine 95. So that's going to be 100 plus 121 minus 2 times 10 times 11 times cosine 95. That's going to be negative 19.18. So it's going to be 100 plus 121. Two negatives multiply each other is going to be positive. That's going to be 240.18. So A is going to be square root of 240.18, which will be 15.50, and the unit for that is going to be centimeter. Next example. Here, all sides are given, no angle is given. So we have none of these angles. So we can choose any of them and write 15 squared equals to 5 squared plus 9 squared subtract 2 times 5 times 9 times cosine A. 15 squared is 225, 5 squared is 25, 9 squared is 81. So we have 90 times cosine A. So we can say 225 subtract 25 subtract 81 equals to negative 90 point cosine A degrees. So 225 subtract 25 subtract 81 is going to be 119 equals to negative 90. Therefore cosine A is going to be 119 over 90, which is going to be negative 1.32. And we know cosine functions cannot be greater than 1 or cannot be less than negative 1. So in this case, we're going to say that's impossible triangle. Let's see another example. We have 11 in here, 8 and 6. Same thing, with different size. So we have 11 squared equals to 8 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 6 times 8 times cosine, if we call it A, cosine A. 11 squared is going to be 121, 8 squared 64, 6 squared 36 minus 2 times 6 times 8, which is going to be 2 times 6 times 8 is going to be 96 cosine A. And then we can say 121 subtract 64 subtract 36 equals to negative 96 cosine A. It's going to be 21 equals to negative 96 cosine A. So cosine A is going to be 21 over negative 96. Then we can say A is going to be cosine inverse of negative 0.21875. That's going to be 103 degrees. That's how we round it. So A is going to be 103. Then we have 2 more sides to do. Now we can use either cosine law or sine law to find out any other sides. Let me use sine law now. I'm gonna say sine 103 degrees over 11 equals to sine C over 8. So sine 103 divided by 11 is going to be 0.0885 sine. So sine C is going to be 0.0885 times 8 is going to be 0.708. So C will be sine inverse of 0.708. It's going to be 45 degrees. So C is going to be 45 degrees. And finally, part B is going to be, we know all these three angles together is going to be 180. So 180 subtract 103 subtract 45 is going to give me 32 degrees. So now the whole triangle is solved. Let's see next example. we have 15, 12, and this side is going to be 100 degrees. We are interested in finding out A. I'm going to say A squared equals to 15 squared plus 12 squared. Subtract 2 times 15 times 12 times cosine 100. 15 squared is 225, 144. 2 times 15 times 12 times cosine 100 is going to be negative 62.51. So A squared is going to be 225 plus 144 plus 62.51, which is 431.51. So A is square root of 431.51, which is going to be 20.77. Let's see another example. We have 16 centimeter, 23 centimeter, and here we have 98 degrees. You're interested in finding out, let's call it B this time. So this one is going to be B, A, C. So B squared equals to 23 squared plus 16 squared. Subtract 2 times 23 times 16 times cosine 98 degrees. So 23 squared is going to be 529. 16 squared is going to be 256. It's going to be 2 times 23 times 16 times cosine 98. It's going to be negative 102.43. That's 529 plus 256 plus 102.43. This is going to be 887.43. So B is going to be square root of 887.43. It's going to be 29.79 centimeter. Next example. You have 7.1 inches. Here we have 11.8 inches, and here we have 92 degrees. So let's call it this one C for now. C, A, B. So C squared equals to 7.1 squared plus 11.8 squared. Subtract 2 times 7.1 times 11.8 times cosine 92 degrees. So 7.1 squared is 50.41 plus 11.8 to the power of 2 is going to be 139.24. 2 times 7.1 times 11.8 times cosine 92 is going to be negative 5.85. It's going to be 50.41 plus 139.24 plus 5.85. That's going to be 195.5. So C is going to be square root of 195.5. And it's going to be 13.98 inches. Then after that we can use Sine Law to, if you are interested to find out these angles here, we need to use Sine Law in order to find it. So I can say 13.98 over sine 92, 7.1 divided by sine B, and 11.8 over sine A. If you don't know how to use Sine Law, I'm gonna leave Sine Law video in description in case you need to know how to use Sine Law or what kind of examples we have. So let's solve B in here. So 13.98 divided by sine 92 is gonna be 13.99. 7.1 over sine B. So sine B is going to be 7.1 over 13.99. It's going to be 0.507. So B is going to be 0.507, which is going to be 30 degrees. In order to find A, we can use either Sine Law, or we know the summation of all three angles is going to be 180. So we already have two of these angles. We have 92 here and we have 30 here. So 92 plus 30 is going to be 180. Subtract 112 is going to be 68 degrees. So that's how I find out the missing side. Let's have one more example. We have 10.4, 17.9, and 21.8. We are interested in finding out the angles. We call it A, B, C. So 10.4 to the power of 2 equals to 21.8 plus 17.9 to the power of 2 minus 2 times 21.8, 17.9 cosine C. 108.16, 475.24, 320.41, it's going to be 780.44 cosine C. So that's going to be 108.16 minus 475.24 minus 320.41 is going to be negative 687.49 equals to negative 780.44 cosine C. So cosine C is going to be 687.49 divided by 780.44. It's going to be 0.88. So C is going to be cosine inverse of 0.88. It's going to be 28 degrees. So C is going to be 28 degrees. The other angles, you can use Sine Law. So 10.4 divided by sine 28 equals to 21.8 divided by sine A. So 10.4 divided by sine 28 is going to be 22.15. 21.8 over sine A. It's going to make it as sine A equals to 21.8 divided by 22.15 is going to be 0.984. So A will be sine inverse of 0.984, which is going to be 80 degrees. So now we have A, we know C, B is going to be 180 minus 80 plus 28. So 180 minus 108 is going to be 72 degrees. So that's how we use Sine Law in order to find cosine law and Sine Law to find out the missing length and missing angles. Please leave me a comment if you have any question, and I hope it was useful to you. Thank you for watching and have a great day.